We all know about our genetic inheritance, our straight hair, curly hair, long legs, short fingers, whatever that is, but we also have an inheritance that's much more subtle, the intergenerational traumas. And what do I mean by that? I mean the long-held secrets and the residue of extremely difficult lives. These things land in us as a cellular transmission. They show up as extreme anxiety, listlessness, a feeling of unsafety in the world. The bad news is that we all do inherit probably more than we realize. The good news is that we can do so much about it. And that is what my book is about. There are hundreds of stories in my book about people who have turned trauma into transformation, wounds into wisdom. I wrote this book because it's really my life. I'm the daughter of a Holocaust survivor. My mother barely got out of Nazi Germany in 1939. My father, who's American-born, served on a bomb disposal squadron that took him to the most devastated parts of Germany. And there he found himself in April 1945 in Bergen-Belsen at the liberation of that death camp. After my dad died, we actually found a whole file locked away in a metal filing cabinet filled with the photographs that he took while in Bergen-Belsen, things that he saw that were unseeable. Interestingly, neither one of my parents told the stories of what they had been through. But in holding that secret, we did feel the transmission of their pain. So we had suicide in my family, we had schizophrenia, we had all manner of being cut off. In healing myself, I started a study of this whole phenomenon of intergenerational trauma. And the more I studied, the more I understood how widespread this phenomenon is, not only to Jews, not only to post-Holocaust, but to people everywhere. Let me tell you a story about intergenerational trauma. Esti was from Iran. She had a 7-year-old daughter who had a severe case of separation anxiety. This little girl couldn't go to school. She would collapse in a heap on the floor anytime her mother left her. She didn't have friends. She couldn't go out of the house. She and her husband went to every school counselor and every family therapist. Nothing seemed to be working. Finally, at her wit's end, Esti, the 7-year-old's mother, came to me to do her own work. She and I unearthed a terrible family secret that had been hidden for 30 years. Her parents had left behind a blind and frail grandmother in Tehran when they escaped the country. Revolution in Iran was filled with terror. If they were caught, they would be executed immediately. And so they did not say goodbye. They simply left town, always harboring this horrible shame in their hearts and never speaking of it. When Esti learned of this terrible secret, she raged, she was so angry, she grieved, she mourned, and in the process of her mourning, something mysterious happened in the family. Her daughter, day by day, began to improve. It was as if she knew about this unearthing, but she didn't know anything. And yet, she asked to go to school, she asked for play dates, she is now a carefree 7-year-old. There's a mysterious process that goes on when we turn around and learn about our family legacies and become more aware and start feeling the feelings that our ancestors transmit to us. Things start to free up, our lives start to free up, we start to have more life force. This is what my work and my book are about. The truth is, we can't change our history, but we can change the legacy that we pass on to the next generation.